speaker for this session is the president of Malaysia Robotics and Automation Society, MIRAS. Our technology advocate, Dr. Iskandar Baharin, is also the executive chairman of the Tech Capital Group of companies. He is also the director in the board of Global Robot Cluster, as well as the vice chair of the International Alliance of Robotics Associations. With his presentation championing the movement for intelligent robots, let's hear from Dr. Iskandar Baharin. Welcome, Dr. Iskandar.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, welcome.
You may start sharing your slides now.
Okay. If you can see the next slide, is basically I'll be talking on some reference material that MIRAS we have been involved in, which is the soon to be launched the National Robotics Roadmap document by our Malaysian government. It is actually a National Robotics Roadmap document that consolidates all the other science and technology policy, the industrial policy, and the academic policy, and also the human capital policy. So the basis of creating or fulfilling the demand for robotics in Malaysia is going to be based on the framework which we call 10 by 10 My STI. Okay. So if you can see in the slides, the 10 by 10 Malaysian STI framework consists of the horizontal technology drivers, we call it, yeah. And then vertically, the vertical columns are all basically the social economic drivers, or the social economic drivers impact that we want to see in terms of driving the science, technology, and innovation kind of thing. Now, coming from looking at on the horizontal side, you will see that for each Malaysian socio-economic driver, they should explore how the 10 science and technology drivers will value add their market space, and also be able to support and enhance their global competitiveness. Yeah. For example, we have energy. If you look into energy, there is the energy component that they're going to adopt all the science and technology drivers. The business and finance services. We have the culture, arts, and tourism, another big socio-economic driver. Medical and healthcare, also another big socio-economic driver. Not forgetting our smart technology and systems, which is the next we call it the next generation engineering and manufacturing for Malaysia. And we also have the smart cities and transportation. There's also another big agenda initiative going on. We also have the water and food, also another big socio-economic driver. We have the agriculture and forestry. We have the education, and we also have finally the environment and biodiversity. So these are the 10 Malaysian socio-economic drivers that we want to do, that we want to help increase our GDP for our country, that can increase the social well-being of the country in terms of the citizen, as well as the economic well-being of the country. Okay. So based on those 10 socio-economic drivers, Malaysia has identified 10 what we call science and technology drivers that they should explore core technologies and also applications. They have to create two things. One, they have to create their own core technology such that it is sustainable. Number two, they should be able to create deployment strategies or actions where they can apply their science and technology know-how to the 10 Malaysian socio-economic drivers. This becomes also the funding for the R&D and so funding by industry will all be based on this streamlined focus. So we have the driving fundamental and translational research. So in our recent Prime Minister's budget for the 12th mission plan, the government has put in a lot of budget to help drive this framework. For example, number one, in terms of the science and technology framework, we have basically the 5G. Okay, we have the 5G, and then we have the sensor technology, and we also have basically the 3D. I mean the what they call it, the additive printing, the 4D and 5D printing, advanced material, advanced intelligence system, cyber security and encryption, automated analysis and data discovery, blockchain, neurotechnology, and bioscience technology. Now, based on all this, in our recent study, we found that in all this 10 by 10 framework, be it the horizontal thrust or be it the horizontal drivers or the vertical drivers, the common technology that is needed is actually intelligent robotics. So we found that intelligent robotics is kind of supporting or serving the horizontal and vertical growth of our 10 by 10. So meaning that we have identified intelligent robotics. When I say the word intelligent, the component of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and IR 4.0 is all embedded into the term intelligent. Robotics also has been defined as physical robots as well as software robots. Okay, so intelligent robotics becomes a key enabling technology that will boost all the socio-economic driver. Okay. In the next slides, this is a much deeper in terms of where our robotics market will be, the way that we see. Yeah. For example, if you see here, robotics could be adopted to achieve progressive, prosperous, and also inclusive and sustainable high-tech nation by 2030. So basically, what we are saying here that we want to deploy intelligent robots, for example, in the energy sector, in the area of diversified renewable energy. So we are seeing companies now, actually a robotics company, already doing some robotic solution to help in the energy sector. Also in the energy storage system, because as we all know, robots needs battery and all that, and also the microgrid. Basically, the robots is basically helping to basically fit in some energy into the national grid. Next is the business and financial services. Basically, here you look at the subscription business model and also the sharing platform. So we're looking about digitized and autonomous services. So this is like our robot process automation kind of technology. So we're seeing companies, local startup companies, going into the financial services. So basically coming from the software side, the robotic software side, and also fintech, which is very much in the blockchain. Fintech basically is trying to support as well the Islamic finance industry in Malaysia. And then we talk about culture, arts, and tourism, creative content, and heritage, digitized tourism, high value tourism. So robots are now being used to help the tourism industry. So trying to create some local made robots, maybe either in the movie industry or also in the hospitality, in hotels, in the food industry, restaurants, and all that. Yeah. And then the medical care, this is the biggest at the moment deployment, as we all know, after the COVID situation. A lot of robots, either off the shelf robots or locally made robots, has been used to support the medical and healthcare industry. So we have the digital health, we have the precision medicine. There's a few surgical robots. I think there's about 4 surgical robots in the country. These are high-end robots that helps in the surgery operation. We also have the clinical trials hub. So there's many types of robots. Yeah. Then we have the normal one, which is to support the smart technology and systems in terms of next generation engineering and manufacturing, advanced material, and also we have the next gen smart factory. We have manufacturing of smart devices and technology. So a lot of the component makers who are used to supply the semiconductor industry are also trying to put together a solution that they can start building components for robots. Yeah. So those are on the smart technology, and also for smart cities, we're talking about integrated urban infrastructure. These are more like the mobility of car, electric vehicle. You're talking about trying to connect the rural and urban. So I think with the smart rail project coming up, so there's a lot of robot technology that's going to be a spin-off from that, and also the human-centered design and analysis. So for smart cities, of course, there's a lot of now people are testing some of these autonomous car, assistive robots in the houses and all that. Yeah. And then for water and food, this is also another area that I'm also involved. Basically, using robots to in the production aspect in terms of how to ensure that the halal food industry is also protected. We are talking about developing robot chef, robots to help replace the cooks, the chef, which is getting very difficult to get now. And also the in terms of the water resource management, water is rivers and all that are very critical. So there are some projects that they deploy robots to check the quality level of our water and river. Agriculture, I think same as our colleague, our neighbor. A lot of activities as well. You're looking at robotics for high-end seafood. There's a project in Sarawak looking at underwater robots to help in the fishery industry. Premium tropical fruits, these are more for pesticides and also more of the ground mobility robots. Local agriculture and also the smart supply chain. Yeah. Drones and all that for the palm oil industry. And then for the education, we're talking about training robots for experiential learning. To promote education, we'll be promoting micro credentials where people from industry they can go back to university to get themselves credit exemptions and all that. And also we're talking about global online learning. This is also another area that is coming very popular to do global online certification for robotics. Yeah? And then the next one is environment and biodiversity, precision biodiversity, and also innovative, from eco products from waste. This is also another new area that we also, I personally is also looking into this. Yeah, there's a lot of requests for trying to build customized machines for that. Now, the next slide, basically, this is the last slide. So this is also a slide that is embedded in the National Robotics Roadmap as well. This is basically a framework, the National Robotics Ecosystem Framework, where we want to build the national ecosystem, an ecosystem that will ensure stability, maturity, and predictability of our robotics industry in Malaysia. So number one, we talk about, what value are we creating? What value creation are we promoting? So is our value creation trying to come up with high impact problem solving values, solutions? Or are we looking about high impact new solutions using robots? So typically for manufacturing, for industries, they look at robots in terms of how can robots bring about problem solving for their long-term industry solution. The next one is new solutions. These are game changers. These are more startup people who are robot makers and all that. So then, so once we identify the value creation, which value creation are we talking about? Then we, of course, in terms of the user of robots, IR 4.0, AI, IR 4.0, we have the industry, we have the government, we have the public, and so the environment. So these are the users that we need to serve. So we serve them through a value supply chain input. So how do we serve the user? We serve them through skilled certified workforce. We help them with the right equipment, the right tools, the right robots to help them, and also the right systems. The solutions basically. Yeah. So industry have their own unique proposition. Government have their own unique proposition. The public and also the environment have their own unique proposition. So we address all these four components in the National Robotics Roadmap. So based on the user experience, then they're going to give us the feedback in terms of the intended value creation. What is the gap? So there'll be a bit of measurements there, the measurements in terms of the user satisfaction, the dashboarding, and all that. Yeah. So in order to help create the value for our robotics ecosystem, we work with partners. So partners are coming from our research institutes, from training institutes, from industry players, and also the enablers. So to do that, so these partners, they can be local, they can also be international players. For example, like we have several industry robot makers who are within the ecosystem. Also local robot players. So all this needs to be put together such that they help create value for our Malaysian robotics industry. Okay, so that is also another database that we are building. And then at the same time, based on the feedback that we get from the users, from the value supply chain, the output of it. So we're going equally the team here. They're going to give a feedback to the partners in terms of what are the new areas of value creations, that value development. Sorry, that we need to focus on. So in here, typically it'll be monitored by an agency that will oversee the coordination of the value development. Okay. So basically on this left hand and right hand loop, there is a feedback loop. So there is the demand side feedback loop. There is also the supply side feedback loop. So basically, this is a very much high level presentation that I would like to share in our forum today. That I hope that it will benefit everybody. maybe in the next event, things like that, I can go a bit deeper in terms of the use cases, especially there's many use cases. So we just need to know which area that we want to look into lah. So I think that's all that that I have in my presentation. So I would like to thank I'd like to thank the